Hello everyone. Today we will show you how to create and use bots in the SharpTrader program. These bots are written in C Sharp and you do not need to download a separate IDE, and you can create them specifically in the SharpTrader program and don't need to install any additional programming systems. So to begin, you need to go to the bot bot coding tab. We'll go here and we'll click Add Bot. Now you can enter the name of the bot and it will appear here. We'll also have the class template, and it's the template for the bot is created in the bot class, and it already has some public options here. And we will look at a bot that has already been created, which is the MACDTrader. And we will look at this to look at the code in detail and tell you how it looks and how it works. So here we have the class is MACDBot, and we created input parameters, and we will discuss these later. We created strings, doubles, and so on. And in the properties, we will show you what the parameters are called. And we have a certain keyword associated with it. And this acts as a hint. So if we want to create a strategy, we will need to click the build button. So basically, we click the build button and we create the library for the bot. And if we see that the build is finished, we know that it'll light up in green and we'll know that everything has went smoothly. So we can use this strategy from now on. We can go to our strategy, we can click add. In the type, we'll select custom bot, and we can now see the parameters for the strategy. So here, basically, we can see all the opened, closed, and pending positions. We can also see the logs of the strategy. And in the settings, we can put the label for the bot and select the bot that we are using. So we'll name it like this. And here we can see the parameters for the symbol of the parameter. And basically, this is Euro USD in this case. We'll see the default value for the symbol. So once we select the bot, we can see the parameters and the symbol for the parameters, which is, in this case, it's Euro USD. We have the period and time frame, and we can select the time frame from the list. So the rest of the parameters. So once again, the value of the symbol by default, the description that the user can see here, and we are able to change the parameters of this bot or add our own, and we don't need to use the default values. So we can change anything we want and do not require to use the default. But we'll use default for this video. And here we can select the sessions on which the bot will work with. And this is very important. So our first session we'll call CTrader. And so we'll discuss how we'll use this session. So we have many functions. For example, get point value, get position by comment, the fact that the index is 0, which means that the index is being used by the session. So basically 0 means that this is the CTrader session. And if we add Dukas copy, we'll need to add the index as 1 if we want to receive the details of that session. So this is the relevance to this session. So we'll also go over the code of the advisor. So when we initialize, we see that the value of what the value of the symbol is and see if there are already buy positions. And the same thing if there's a buy positions. If there's a sell position, we can find the position ID of these positions as well. So it basically checks if you have open positions. It's also a very important moment that here in the properties of the session, the tab of called mapping appears. And this is because for many sessions, we don't have the ability to receive information about quotes. So this information will come from our server where we store the quotes. And the quotes can be unique, but are fine to be used in trading, and it's the same thing. But basically, you would need to go to the mapping column, and we'll need to add the name of the symbol. That'll be on the fix connect. So you basically need to map the names to the names on the broker. And the common name is the list of common names. So basically, GDAX is DAX, WS30 is the Dow Jones Index. And here we also have a multiplicator of the lot. Um, for in these three strategies, for example, for CTrader, we can put 100,000. And this means that we are using the strategy when we are using the strategy on different connects. Some brokers will have 100,000, 10,000, 0.1 for lots, and we can use mapping so we don't need to create a separate advisor for each broker. So since we're using this strategy on different types of brokers, we'll basically need to map map the lots that these types of brokers use so we can just use a common lot instead of setting it for separate brokers. And using this, we can use this bot on any broker, and we don't need to worry about the lot sizes that we set. And it can be used on many brokers. So this is very useful, especially if you're using many different brokers. Here we have the on tick, um, where the whole logic of the algorithm happens. So basically, we see if there's an order that has occurred. We check the current symbol, if the tick has already happened or not. We see the MACD signals and the moving averages. So we'll go through these here. So this is the most important because we check if an order isn't occurred, we check the current signal for the tick. We see the MACD signal and the moving average all through here. Next, we also have the bid-ask calculation. We also have the index of the session and the symbol name of the symbol. And remember that for the index of the session, we have 0 because the index starts at 0. We check the conditions for the buy order, the entry, we get a buy signal, and then receive the ID of the order that has been submitted. And it's the exact same, it works the exact same way for sell orders as well. So this block is if we don't have an open order, and this block is the next block is if we do. So we receive the position, and if something happens to it when we receive the position, we use the block where the position is now 0, and we exit. Um, if the take profit for the position is 0, and if there's not 0 profit set in the program, then this checks that over, and the same thing happens for stop loss. And we check the closing positions to see if the MACD changed its trend. And we also will need to create a trailing stop if we require one. So here's the logic for the trailing. And it's the same logic for sell orders. We have position open, position close, and status update next. So next we check if a position is open, we'll remember the position ID, which is then used here. And if the position is closed, we can say that it has been closed and renew the parameters for when the position is empty. And if we send an order and it's rejected, we have a special instance called status update. So this is if an order is rejected, or uh, it basically checks if a canceled or rejected order, we give the value of 0 to this order, and this means that there's no order anymore. And this is very important. It's kind of like a double check for the order and its status. So now that we've gone over the code, we can actually run the strategy. We gave it CTrader parameters, and we'll need to click apply changes and then click run. So we apply changes just so it's all checked, and the strategy is currently running. So basically, we're going to wait until strategy opens the first order, and we'll do it in real time just for the demo. So if the order opens, we'll see it here in the positions, and if the order is rejected, it will basically give an explanation of why the order is rejected and indicate that it is rejected. So all of the orders and positions for this strategy will be stored in this tab. Another important moment is that we need to connect these strategies or nothing notable will happen. So we need to connect the session. So our session is now connected, and now we'll just wait until the strategy enters with an order. We see that we have had a position that opened that shows up here, and we see it here. So now we can observe and see what happens next. Still waiting. We also see that the stop loss and take profit change, and this is because they are virtual parameters that are managed within the program itself. So everything is done virtually. So we will continue to wait until our position is profitable or when the order is closed. So to speed up this process, we can also make a smaller trading stop. And this is basically so the trailing stop, because currently we have the trailing stop set to a higher amount, which means that the program will wait for the trailing to happen. So we'll wait a little more and then change it. So I'll stop this strategy and make a smaller trailing stop. Let's make it 5 and we'll resume our strategy. And we instantly get a position notification and the trailing happens. So it's still continuing to trail. Still going on, still trailing. So we are doing this in real time, and you can see how the instrument works. Okay, Perfect. So our position is done, and we can also see it here. So we can take a look at it in the history. So here we can see our position. And this is how these bots work. Thank you so much for watching and hope that this video helped. Um, Please subscribe and ask us if you have any other further questions. Thank you so much.